Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. The markets continue to just gyrate in every direction they can, except, which includes sideways, I should say, but continue to make new all-time highs. And as you're watching it, it may seem that, wow, it's so easy that they just step in. But the problem now exists that we're into uncharted waters. So to find somebody that has a reason to sell at a particular point is pretty difficult. So if you've got a large buy order, you're just going to come in and you're going to be taking things and it goes much quicker. And that's what's happening. And then, of course, when sellers do walk in, it creates a vacuum because all the buyers are done. And there's nobody else is going to stand up there and buy it, so it creates a vacuum. So we're getting that volatility going in both directions, and it can present a more confusing picture. And I'll get into that in a little bit. What I want to start with is just a quick review. I almost daily will pull open my chart. Again, it's just the hourly, but I pull open from where this particular move starts, and this is a C wave, and it started here at the bottom at 14,585.50. And we got up to 15,980 today. And so we basically have put on 1,400 NASDAQ points. And that's quite a C wave, but it fits everything in terms of what it's forming as an irregular B wave. All of the characteristics that go along with that are present. It is also at a historic all-time high, is where we're pushing into or have been pushing into. And so we see the volatility increase. We see a lot of extensions within waves as the market finishes this entire sequence. And I've been forced to go back and take a look at the count and how I've labeled it because of the continued extensions. So as I have said within Elliott, and when Elliott wrote his papers, when he wrote his works on his theory and his phenomena, then he also didn't see extensions like we are now, but the market conditions were a bit different. And so I am not adding anything to the rules or the guidelines, but actually more to the guidelines, I should say, because what I'm now finding is that waves more often, more than just 3, extend. And most often it's falling within 3 and then 5. And that's the case right now. As we look towards this finishing C wave, it's a minor C wave. It has 5 waves of minute degree. 1, 2, and this glorious extended third, which I've gone several times back through, and it does count out perfectly and just fine. A 4th wave, and now we're in a 5th wave, minute wave up, and it is subdividing in the 5th wave. So in the 5 of the 5, it is subdividing as we race to this high. And the position that this is occurring is very much according to an observation that Elliott had made in the same wave formation, the same up to a top, the same, the subdivisions within the subdivisions. And these are all things he noticed, and then here it is again. So part of what I'm talking about is I've gone back to Elliott's original works that he wrote in the 1936 and then again in the 1940s. So it still fits. So that's a long road away from me to tell you that I'm satisfied with the count this far and I haven't broken any rules and the guidelines still apply. So now I gotta start to break this down. So again, we're in that minute fifth, and then inside that, we're in the sub-minute fifth, and then subdividing. So now I'm just gonna open this up to there. And this is again the hourly chart, but now we're just inside this last 5. And actually that's on that degree because we see that it would subdivides 1, 2, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to produce the third wave. And then we had 4, and now it's subdividing again inside the 5th, which is inside the 5th. I mean, it just keeps building. We're subdividing on so many different internal levels that it is, I think, a top of major proportions that we're driving ourselves up to. And it just keeps getting interesting. So here we are. This is the end of the 4th. Now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're in the 5th of the 5th. It's impressive. So I think, but this is on the hourly chart. So I believe what we really have is we have 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 3, 4, and now we're heading up at 5, and maybe we've got 1 and a 2 again. So I've drawn the Fibonacci extensions for this particular 5, and then I've gone in and drawn an additional set of extensions for this 5 that's now in progress from there. And here's kind of what I think we may be doing. This 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're getting up into a 5 that'll finish this 3. All right, the one from there. So we'll be able to go 1, 2, 3. We'll be up here. Then we're going to drop in a 4. Then we're going to race up again into the 5th. So we got 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. We still got to finish this third that started here. Then we'll do a 4th. And then we'll finish it with a 5th. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that the third that we're working may finish right up in here at the 100% mark. And that will finish the 3. Then the 5 is going to be related here. And I think that's the one that gets us to 16,101. And then I think that's just going to be just this spill to get whatever. So we have other Fibonacci here, and all of this, folks, all of it really can conclude the whole move, because it's meeting all the requirements to be done. But I think that if we pay very close attention to all that is happening, and I'm going to go all the way down to the 15-minute now, to all that is happening inside this wave, this is that 5th. So you can see it's the same types of structures that we just continue to see play and play. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 of 3. Okay, so this is the deal. 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 1 of 3 of 5, 2 of 3 of 5, 3 of 3 of 5, 4 of 3 of 5, and this will be the 5th of 3 of 5. So I know that's confusing, but if you follow it and walk it out, your counts are going to be much tighter and cleaner. And realizing how we can get up into these levels becomes clear as well. So I believe we have additional upside and that we will go up and break above the high we had today, 15,980. And I think the market will eventually end up breaking above 16,000 on this move and possibly get up to that the 100% move, because I'm looking at this 5 of 3. That's what we're in. And that's what I'm measuring out. And I think that's where this comes in. So that's what I think it can get to. Then I can take this off. Then we're working on this one. And that's the one that's out here. So that's the story. I'm going to be sticking to it. So let me just go over it again, because it's sometimes it can seem difficult to follow. We are in that last 5 of the last 5. So I started out on the hourly chart, but now I've broken it down to just on a 15-minute basis how this is all progressing. So tomorrow we have the Fed. So we may meander around down in here and float around and do nothing until that number, until the Fed gives us their report. But what I'm seeing, either it does it beforehand and then reacts after, or it waits and just takes that news as positive and goes for it. And because the volatility to the upside can be very crushing, if you're working a short and you're just watching, there's nothing up here. So when the buyers step in, it's going to fly, just because there's nothing up here to stop it. And orders are, these are people that maybe got long here and they're going to throw an order out here, or day traders could put some orders out. But when you're coming in to buy 100, you could move it quite quickly. Enough said. So I am looking for this, and I think that we can get there. And then we're going to pull back, and then I think eventually this is where we're going to get. If this is not what's going to happen, the turn will be sudden, swift, and take all of this back, I think, on the first leg. That's what a disappointment would do. If the market does not receive what it wants to hear, or cannot interpret it in the fashion in which it wants, and it changes or forces a reversal in a lot of what we've seen in these stocks, this will go. This will go right quick and basically break back below 15,800, because this is all fluff. This is in the market. I mean, you substantiate that to me. Well, Tesla's going to make more money. Let me just show you. I know I'm going on today, but I want to show you something that happened today. And it happened in Avis Budget car rental. Okay. They came out, and during their earnings report, which basically they reported earlier, wasn't bad, but today they decided to make a call that, yes, they intend to go and buy electric vehicles. So that we heard from Hertz. And somehow this stock, this is where it started, I believe it was like 178 or something. The stock went from there to 545 in 15, 30, 45, an hour, hour and 15, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Now that's a short squeeze. And God only knows, but that is just like incredible. And then they dropped it. And then they had to hold it up here because nobody knew what to do. What's true, what's not true, what's really going to be factored in, et cetera, et cetera. So the volatility is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let's just, for fun, look at the volatility in the options. 211%, plus or minus 142. Holy crap. These things exploded, and you can see, look, there's no open interest because a lot of these were added today. And look at this. 1,400 of the November 800s traded. 2,000 of the 600s. And look at the market, 1250 at 1780. Holy cow. Market, an options trader's dream if you know how to play it. And so when you see this type of action, this is not normal to me. This is not normal. So I don't think that it can last, obviously. And those are insane moves. The indexes are acting insane at the moment. But I do think we're quickly reaching the pinnacle. And again, the reason I'm really breaking this down and I'm adding everything I'm adding because it all fits. Characteristically, the wave personalities, and I put quotes on that, however you want to term it, it all fits right now into what we're watching and what we're seeing and how it's playing out against the realistic backdrop. So I am looking for a top. I don't want to sound alarmist because I will trade it and I will, and when it's going up, why wouldn't I buy it? But I'm a day trader. So there's a big difference, but we can trade it and there's a lot of money to be made playing in a lot of different things at the moment. So tomorrow, I believe continued upside. If it flips and turns in the other direction, I think it would come on the heels of whatever the Fed announcement's going to be. And so we can go up and get up to these levels before we decide to just die, you know. So all kind of things, stay on your toes, stay focused, use the moving averages. They're going to guide you on the way down. If this thing flips and goes down, they're going to tell you right away how quickly you need to sell. So keep an eye on your moving averages. When they start to break here, it's just get out of the way. Go with, do not fight it. And that goes to the same thing on the way up. Don't try to pick a top. Not when they're coming in to buy more contracts that truly are available for the first 50 points. This morning's opening was similar to that. They just had to buy it and they just did. They just did it. Now, enough. I'm dragging on. Trade smart. Trade with your moving averages, the Fibonacci and the Elliott. And have a great trading day tomorrow. The next step date will be on Wednesday, the 3rd.